Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it looks like we might have a new Sorcerer SUE-preme.
Yay.
Mary SUE-preme.
Mary SUE-preme.
Carol Danvers. Yes, she's back from the dead. I guess because she died in the comics. And now they're bringing Captain Marvel back, but she's basically...
They will not think, I can't quit you. I can't quit you.
It looks like she's got Doctor Strange's powers because apparently they're starting to figure out over at Marvel that one, I don't think they know what the hell to do with Captain Marvel, but two, that maybe they got to do something with her to make her more interesting.
Rogue knows what to do with Captain Marvel.
Rogue she knew what to do with Captain Marvel. She knew where her face belonged.
That's right.
On the pillow in the hospital.
But now it's interesting though because her outfit looks she looks more feminine.
Yes.
But she's got all the sorcerer circles that you see with
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Doctor Strange, and her looks like a cape. The cape going on, the cape is moving like on its own, like Doctor Strange, and
yeah, they're gonna make her strange. So we're gonna talk about that. This attempt, I think, to revitalize Captain Marvel, make her interesting.
But they're not revitalizing her. They're just appropriating somebody else.
Yeah, they should make Spider Carol or something. The Amazing Spider Carol. Dead Carol. Well, wait, she died. They could have had Deadpool Carol could have been Dead Carol. So this is just weird. We'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about whether or not Marvel's going to reboot their entire universe again.
They will, because they always do.
Because it's every 2 to 5 years now.
And then a bunch of characters will be completely changed for no reason. There'll be a different race, gender, sexual orientation for no reason whatsoever.
Yep.
Other than the fact they rebooted it.
Yep, because it's all about selling all the number ones you can.
Right, because that's the only thing that sells.
I'm like, why even bother? I can't even tell people to get into comics now. Why would you even bother getting into Western comics now when you spend a ton of money on these events and these reboots, and within 2 to 5 years they reboot the whole damn universe?
It even makes it that far.
Yeah, it's stupid. DC's doing it now, and it's a mess.
I'm more like, when aren't they doing it? It just seems like every other day, it's that time again.
I remember when I was a kid when they had events. Well, one, they never rebooted the universe when I was a kid. The whole way through the 90s, they never rebooted anything.
But it's been a big thing for the last 30 years or so.
Not even the last maybe 20 years. Every 5 years, it seems like they reboot
it,
and they keep thinking it's going to bring in new readers, but it actually just you lose the old readers. The whole balancing act is to keep the old readers and also bring in the new readers, but it usually doesn't work.
But the thing is, what's going on is the old readers are the ones that are keeping the medium alive, because a lot of the new readers they read webcomics or webtoons. Yeah. They watch TV shows, cartoons, that kind of stuff. That's not the same demographic. It's they don't care about comics.
No.
They want to see the on-screen version.
Yes. So that's an uphill battle. So we're gonna talk about this. Before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 172,000 subs.
Woo!
Hoping for 200,000 soon.
We have the wrong kinds of opinions.
We have the wrong opinions. So this was pretty interesting that Captain Marvel is basically getting Doctor Strange's powers, because God knows she needs more power.
Is that what's going on? That's what it looks like to me.
It said she's going to attempt to master the mystic arts.
Then yes, that's what that means.
Yes, she'll get a whole new look.
She'll master it better than everybody, and she'll be the new Sorcerer SUE-preme and all that.
Yep.
She has a half-sister now, too?
Yeah, she has a half-sister now, too.
Okay.
Today, Sci-Fi Wire can exclusively reveal that Carol Danvers' brand new Captain Marvel costume for the upcoming arc beginning in April's Captain Marvel 28, written by Thompson, with art by Jacobo Kamani. Of course, then there's cover art. Here's the cover art, Doctor Strange. And she's talking about how they redesigned Dark Carol or Mystic Carol. Actually, I gotta tell you, I like the costume.
Yeah, I like the costume too, actually.
Without the cape, if she just had the hood, the hood.
I like the hood a lot.
That's Rogue's hood. It looks like Rogue's hood. Rogue
there you go.
Back
See,
in the
more
day.
reason that we should have Rogue brought into this.
I like this costume. I'm going to be completely honest. I think if she looked like this instead of a skinny man like she has lately.
Yeah. No, I like that look. I do.
This is actually a good look for Carol. This actually is kind of a throwback to how she looked in the early 80s when she was an interesting character. Mm-hmm. Before she got knocked on her ass because they didn't know what to do with her. But yeah, they're talking about, they won't talk about the specifics because she already died. I have to be a little careful here because the story spins pretty directly out of the fall from our current arc. I don't want to spoil it, but yes, not everything goes Carol's way in the story, and there's real loss mixed in there with the win. So she's going to lose her godlike powers, I guess. Or are they trying to cash in on Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness?
So they're going to make her in another multiverse. She's the Sorcerer Supreme or something.
Who the hell knows? They'll make her. Yeah, they'll make her.
Somehow she's the bestest one they ever had. I wish she could make audiences appear.
Yeah, right. In the new world, Carol finds herself transported to a post-apocalyptic future where few of her friends are left alive, and many of the surviving heroes are in fact the children of friends she once fought beside.
Right, so that we can redo them all and make them the way that we want to, with diversity cards to make sure.
I don't even know what Carol Danvers' personality is. Like, I can't tell because it changes from writer to writer. Like, there's no.
It seems like bitterness is the
bitterness is her driving force. She's gonna attempt to harness the power of magic for the sake of the future, for the sake of her own strength, and for the sake of the world,
and for the sake of taking over the MCU.
And for the sake of taking over the MCU, of course, Marvel heroes suddenly trying to learn to be magical hasn't always gone well. But she's Carol Danvers. She's gonna be the Mary SUE-preme, the Mary SUE-preme of the MCU. Literally, wait, what's this? Oh, this will not go well. Literally, nobody wants Carol to know magic. Ha ha ha, including my editors. I told them they were misogynists.
That's it, I was going to say, but I'm a woman, so I get to make all the shots.
I will tell you, I actually like the costume.
I do like the costume. I do too. I like that. I like the hood. But I don't like the fact that it's looking to me like they're trying to take another character that's male and take his powers away and replace him with somebody else.
Yep. And it's like, doesn't she have enough? I mean, doesn't she have enough power?
No, because she is the Mary Sue of the MCU, so she has to have every power. I was honestly surprised they didn't have her lifting Thor's hammer in Endgame. I was waiting for that.
It's probably a cutscene. I didn't watch it. Yeah, somebody edited that movie without her in it, and it didn't make any difference whatsoever.
Well, they really minimized her in that movie, but I think that's because contrary to what everybody says, she wasn't as popular as they want you to believe. Well, so they keep trying to spin her in a way to make her popular.
Like, they're just gonna go through all the powers. They'll have like Iron Carol.
That's right.
They'll have Thor Carol. They'll have Captain Carol.
Well, they already do. She's the kind
America Chavez is Captain Carol. They'll have Spider Carol. She'll spin webbing out of her ass or something. Yeah. So anyway, this is not a cause for celebration. So they're talking Marvel heroes are going to be reborn. That sounds to me like they're going to reboot.
There's a lot of re's in there.
A lot of
I'm sure there will be a reing.
A lot of reing at Marvel.
Something.
But they think it might also be a return to what was a reboot back in the 90s. So, okay.
I was hearing that too.
Okay, so this was Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee and the Image guys. Basically, they rage quit Marvel in the early 90s. They went and founded Image. They did their own thing for a while. Then the bottom fell out of the American superhero comic book industry. Just crashed. So
Remember that, yeah.
So they're like, Marvel's like, hey guys, could you maybe come back and do some comics for us? And they're like, yeah, we'll do it as long as we can do whatever the hell we want. So what they did is they rebooted like Avengers and Captain America and Iron Man, but they put them in their own little like pocket universe so they could reboot them without destroying the original continuity. And that went for like a year or so, and I hated it. I didn't like it. But some people liked it. So now they're talking, are they going back to that? Or are they going to reboot the entire Marvel comic universe and make it like that universe? Or is there any continuity left? I don't think so. And Carol's Doctor Strange. So they said that, they talked about 96, how the large portion of the Marvel universe was rebooted by Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, and Jeff Loeb. 25 years later, a new Heroes Reborn is coming, starting with a rhetorical question. Whatever happened to Earth's mightiest heroes? They all became Carol Danvers.
Pretty much. They were sidelined for, tits.
Back in December, Marvel executive editor, senior VP of publishing Tom Brevoort teased a Marvel rebirth following the current Avengers arc, Enter the Phoenix. Enter the Phoenix. DC's already done that with Rebirth. They're going to reboot the whole effing thing again. Yeah. I think this is.
I'm like water's wet. This is what they do all the time.
But is this look? And we're seeing it with DC. They're rebooting stuff too, and they got a whole new direction. All that. I think they're trying to justify their existence to Warner Media at this point. I think this is Marvel's attempt, or Disney might even be looking at them like, you got to do something because your comic books aren't selling for shit. And we know the High Republic books after the first couple issues probably aren't going to sell for shit. What else you got? Well, 90s are hot. We're going to go back to the 90s era Avengers and just do that again. And then we'll reboot everything else and make Carol Danvers Doctor Strange because Doctor Strange is trending now.
Right, so we have to make sure that that's a woman.
I don't know. I don't get it.
Surprised they didn't make it Monica Rambeau. Yeah, why didn't they make it? Why didn't they make Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel with Doctor Strange powers?
They'll make Carol Danvers Doctor Strange, and then they'll make Monica Captain Marvel again, and then they'll fire Brie Larson from.
No, she'll get to be Doctor. She'll get to be Doctor Strange. I'm sorry. I'm just looking about this side articles, and I want to know what kind of slow news day invokes the article, "The Greatest Facial Hair in Marvel Comics." I'm sorry, that is more interesting to me than the reboot.
Yeah, God, I don't know. I'm just to the point where I give up completely on mainstream superhero comics. There is literally no point in getting involved. I mean, at least when I was a kid, like I started reading superhero comics in the 80s, and I read a lot of these titles. I mean, I had long boxes and long. You remember my long boxes?
I do remember.
You remember my long boxes?
I do. You're trying to get me to make a joke about something being long.
I was,
but I'm not
but
going to fall for it.
But
that's a trap.
I had a lot of comics, and I read a lot of comics consistently. And the great thing about it was, since the continuity was there, I could go to the comic shop and go back and buy comics from before I was born to kind of fill in the blanks, because it was all the same continuity. And they just, they would shift the timeline up a little bit. It was always like, Peter Parker became Spider-Man like 8 years ago or something like that, or it was 8 years ago, the Fantastic Four, or even if it was 1989, it was happening in 81 or whatever. But it was pretty consistent. And now it's like, I don't even know what the hell is going on. I haven't picked up a Marvel or DC floppy comic in 4 or 5 years. I have no desire to, because what's the point? They're going to.
I think that a lot of people
anyway.
don't have any desire to, which is the point. And I think that originally their thought process was, there's so much stuff people go through. Why don't we just start it again so that people can just start at the beginning and go again, so you don't have like that huge backlog. And I get that, but they just keep doing that. But yeah.
It worked with DC because I got on board DC Comics after Crisis on Infinite Earths, because they streamlined the DC, and it worked. I picked up John Byrne's Superman. Those were like my first Superman books, and it worked. But you can only do that like once every 20 years. You can't do it every 2 to 5 years.
Right.
Because you're giving people a jumping on point, but you're also giving them a jumping off point. They're like, hell no, I just invested all this money, all this time into these comic books. And now you're telling me it's all changed. So who gives a shit?
And it used to be these characters basically stay the same, though. And now we have characters that completely change for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah. Like, what the hell? So my thing, look, if I were in charge, this is why I'm not in charge. If I were in charge of Marvel or DC, I'd say we have a 10-year plan. We get the same creative team on the books. We set our books. These are the only like 12 or 20 books we're publishing. We get people to commit to a 10-year plan, beginning, middle, end of storyline. After 10 years, then we reboot it.
The problem with that is that no one else gets a chance, though.
Well, tough shit. It's not my problem. My problem is just to make sure that
maybe a 10-year plan for story, but maybe change some things, artists out here and there. Just give, a fresh look in 10 years, because styles change. Yeah,
that's true. But I'm just saying, if you're going to reboot it, just make sure people realize that, like, this story, this version, this is the 2010s version of Spider-Man that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and then we're going to reset the whole universe again, and you can jump on, or you can just go back and read your old, I would do it that way, then everything's consistent. Do not surprise people. Just be like, this is issue 1 out of 120 issues or whatever, that we're going to do, and just call it a day.
So people want to follow through to the end to see the story and not be worried it's just going to flip-flop in like a year for no reason.
Well, manga, I mean, look at manga. Manga is consistent. When they're done with the story and they tell their story, the manga artist, the mangaka, they move on to another series.
I like that too about like the TV shows and stuff over there, because they're like, there's so many episodes and they might do a couple seasons even, but it's not like it doesn't go on for like 10 seasons. It's like a story's told, it's over. You're not like dipping down just to try to find more shit to keep it going.
Unless you're Dragon Ball.
Okay, so there are exceptions, but I'm saying for the majority.
Yeah, most of them it's a couple of seasons, that's it, and then sometimes they'll do a reboot. Or
I'm not talking just anime. I'm talking about even live action shows.
Oh yeah, it seems like there's a because that's it. People want a beginning, middle, end. It's kind of binge model or whatever. You can go back and watch a whole series, and that's it. It told a whole story, complete story. I feel like with Marvel and DC Comics, you never get a complete story, and you never. It's just it's a waste of money. That's why the comic sales are dying. People are going to manga. It's a waste of money.
Yeah, you never get anything. You never get an ending. It's just starting again.
Yeah,
so I think that's why Marvel's going to be in for it for the Phase 4, because a lot of people are like, I found a stepping off point. I'm not coming back on. Now you might gain a bunch of people, but I think a lot of people that were into it probably have stepped off at that point because I don't want another 10 years of this.
Not with characters I don't even give a shit about.
Yeah, especially if everybody's changed. So anyway,
we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.